In the heart of a vibrant digital forest, where virtual trees stood tall with glowing green leaves and rivers of data flowed like a stream, there was a mythical scroll known as the Infinite Ledger. This wasn't just any scroll. It was enchanted, powerful, and incredibly wise. Many called it blockchain, but few truly understood the depths of its magic. The Infinite Ledger had the remarkable ability to record anything, transactions, secrets, promises, forever, without ever erasing a single word. And what made it even more special was its resistance to alteration. Once written, nothing could be erased or changed. It was said that only the worthiest of intentions would be honored on its pages. People traveled far and wide, bringing tales and treasures to the Infinite Ledger. Its pages were kept safe by a group of guardians known as the Decentralists. They were wise, impartial, and scattered throughout the land, each holding a piece of the scroll's secrets, but never the whole. And so, the Infinite Ledger became a place of trust. Everyone, even the most doubtful, believed in its purity. One day, a young scribe named Eli, with a mind as sharp as the finest quill and eyes curious as stars, heard of the Infinite Ledger. Eli was no ordinary scribe. He had a knack for uncovering hidden truths and an insatiable thirst for understanding. The idea of a book that could record everything and never lose a single word fascinated him beyond measure. With a spark of adventure in his heart, Eli set off on a journey to the enchanted forest. Along the way, he met travelers who shared stories of the ledger's magic. Some said it held the secret to endless wealth. Others believed it was the key to boundless wisdom. Yet a few warned him, "The ledger is powerful, but not everyone who seeks it has good intentions." Eli pondered these words, but curiosity urged him forward. Days turned to weeks, and finally, he arrived at the forest's edge. The air was thick with mystery, as if even the trees held secrets whispered by the wind. In the heart of the forest, he found a grand clearing where the Infinite Ledger stood. It wasn't like any book he had seen. Instead, it floated mid-air, shimmering with a soft, ethereal glow. Each of its pages was guarded by the Decentralists, who watched him with cautious eyes. One guardian stepped forward, his voice calm but commanding. "Why have you come, young scribe?" "I wish to understand the magic of the Infinite Ledger," Eli replied, his voice steady but humble. "To see if it holds the answers to creating a world where trust can't be broken." The guardian studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Then you must learn the ledger's first rule, the law of trust." Eli watched as the guardian tapped a page with his staff. A swirl of ink appeared, forming letters, as if an invisible hand was writing. Once recorded, a word, a promise, or a transaction becomes immutable. No one, not even the Decentralists, can change it. Eli marveled at this rule. He realized that such permanence was both a blessing and a responsibility. He understood that anyone who recorded something in the ledger would be bound by their own word. So, does everyone who uses the ledger trust each other? He asked. The guardian shook his head. No, young scribe, they do not trust each other. They trust the ledger. Eli spent days with the decentralists, learning the secrets of the ledger. He watched as people from distant lands came to record their promises, their trades, and their declarations. Each time, the ledger accepted their words and recorded them with the same impartial care. One day, a man with a hooded cloak approached the ledger. He held in his hand a small vial filled with golden dust, shimmering with temptation. "I am Lord Malvik," the man announced, his voice filled with a persuasive charm, "and I come to offer a trade that will make you all wealthy beyond measure." The decentralists were intrigued but cautious. They allowed Malvik to speak. "I propose a contract," he began. "I will give you each a portion of my golden dust in exchange for control over the ledger." A murmur rippled through the decentralists. They knew the value of gold, yet they also knew the value of trust. Eli felt his heart race. He sensed that Malvik's intentions were not pure, but he also saw the temptation on the faces of some of the decentralists. He raised his voice, addressing Malvik directly. "Why do you want control over the ledger, sir?" Malvik smirked, his eyes gleaming. "With control, I could rewrite history, change promises, shape reality itself." A cold silence fell over the forest. The decentralists realized that if Malvik controlled the ledger, he could destroy the trust they had all worked so hard to build. The trust that countless people had relied on for generations. "No," one decentralist said firmly, his voice echoing in the clearing. "We will not allow anyone, no matter how much they offer, to control the ledger." Malvik's smile vanished. He tried to persuade, then pleaded, and finally threatened. But the decentralists stood strong, guarding the ledger with unwavering loyalty. Seeing no success, Malvik unleashed a powerful spell in an attempt to shatter the ledger. But his magic had no effect. The ledger remained unharmed, its pages still glowing with an eternal light. Furious and defeated, Malvik retreated, vowing to return someday to claim what he couldn't take by force. Eli, having witnessed this ordeal, felt the weight of the ledger's purpose even more deeply. He realized that it was not the ledger itself, but the faith of the people in it, and in each other, that made it so powerful. It was their collective trust, the choice to honor what was written, that gave the ledger its magic. Years passed, and Eli became a respected decentralist himself, protecting the ledger with the same fierce loyalty as those who had come before him. He taught others that trust, like the pages of the ledger, was both fragile and priceless. In time, people from all walks of life came to the ledger not only to record, but to learn, creating a world where honesty and transparency became the very foundation of society. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in a warm, golden light, Eli stood by the ledger, watching the last visitor of the day make their recording. The ledger glowed softly, a testament to countless promises, stories, and dreams bound within its pages. And as he gazed at it, Eli whispered, "In a world where trust cannot be broken, magic becomes real." The ledger flickered, as if acknowledging his words, and Eli knew that as long as there were people to believe, its magic would endure forever.